Bearing fruit sometimes is not always easy. We have a fruit tree over in the presbytery growing guava, or at least it's trying to. And when it gets close to bearing fruit, we have this possum who comes and nicks all our fruit. You probably have similar experiences in your own places. In our own spiritual lives, we hear in the gospel that we are part of the vine. Jesus is the vine, we are the branches, and we are called to bear fruit. But sometimes things get in the way. Just as fruit's coming along, they come and snitch it away, which can get very annoying. When you've got fruit, when you're trying to grow fruit or vegetables or whatever it is, to have that taken away is very annoying. But from a Christian perspective, I think that's even more hurtful. When we have programs, when we pray about things, when we discuss, we're formed, we're ready to do things, and then suddenly something happens that stops the fruit from bearing fruit. It's frustrating. And I think that's what Paul was going through with Barnabas in their mission to the Gentiles in the first reading. They were finding that there were divisions occurring where Jewish people who had become Christians were saying circumcision has to be an absolute priority for anyone who becomes a Christian. And this was just a step too far for Paul. He realised this could create a burden upon pagans who might want to become Christians. And he reflected on this is too much. We want these people to bear fruit, but are we requiring so much of it that people may not even want to go on the journey? And so we're beginning here to hear the first real moral and theological discussion, and perhaps even an argument that happens within the early church. Here we have Paul being sent off to go to Jerusalem to discuss this matter. We are all called to bear fruit, but sometimes things get in the way, or things sometimes make it impossible for fruit to be born. And sometimes we have no control over these things. I have no control over the possum. I asked one of our possum whisperers in the parish, comes to the 6 p.m. Mass on Sunday night, who loves possums. She says, put some food out for them. They might eat the food on the way to the tree and then forget about going to the tree. It doesn't seem to work. They come out in the evening and you hear them nicking fruit from the tree. And the food. We are called to bear fruit, but sometimes things get in the way. If we can control those things that get in the way in a peaceful and in a Christ-like way, we should. Paul realises that circumcision is becoming this issue. It's not allowing them to bear fruit to the Gentiles. And so he does what he can, and we'll hear about this over the coming weeks, this discussion, this debate within the early church. Let's do what we can to bear fruit. And when there are obstacles in our place, let's not just ignore them and allow them to destroy the good fruit. Let's do what we can to protect ourselves from those obstacles so that we will bear fruit as part of the great vine that is the life of Christ.